Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning. Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Marlene Cuellar.
And I'm Gavin Courtney.
And thank you for joining us this morning.
Yep. Another nice morning.
Yeah. A lot more comfortable. That's true.
Exactly.
Right. We got Angelia on the line.
Yep. And giving us our weather forecast this morning. Good morning, Angelia.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm doing great. Let's talk about the weather. What does our general situation look like?
Okay, we have mainly fair and cool conditions prevailing over the area.
Okay, great. And our 24-hour forecast?
Okay, we're expecting skies to be sunny with a few cloudy spells today and then clear to partly cloudy tonight with little or no rainfall expected, and we expect that temperatures will continue to be cool, especially during the night.
All right, that sounds good. Our winds?
Okay, winds will be generally from the east at 5 to 15 knots.
Okay, let's talk about the temperatures, highs for today.
Okay, high temperatures today will peak at about 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 82 inland, and 72 in the hills.
And tonight?
Tonight, the low temperatures will range or will fall to about 72 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 64 inland, and 60 in the hills. So we're gradually warming up during the night, but still on the cool side.
Okay, sounds pretty nice still. And our outlook as we head to the weekend.
Okay, for the next few days, we're expecting mainly fair weather to prevail. Might see a bit more clouds in the next few days, but just mainly shallow, fair weather clouds.
Okay, sounds like my kind of weather. All right, Angelia, thank you so much for giving us that update.
You're welcome.
All right, have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're still cool. We're not as cold as before, but
Yeah,
nice and comfortable.
and we're gonna get a little ease into the warm weather again.
How did you manage with the dip yesterday?
Oh, I mean, I had fun. I mean, of course, like, I wasn't here, so I got to sleep in a little bit later than I used to. So, oh yeah, no, that was a good. I had to be wrapped up.
Yeah,
and so
you
I
did
enjoyed.
think of us early in the morning.
Of
Those
course,
poor souls who had to
yeah,
go to work.
because I thought about coming here today, so I was like, I wonder how cold it's gonna be again.
But it's been really nice and comfortable, and today it's a lot more bearable. I'm sure if you
True.
stepped outside, you can see that.
And during the day, it's great.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. So with the weather out of the way, let's get some motivation going, and that means it's time for the Eye Opener. Our Eye Opener is taken from dailyom.com, and today's message goes like this. Our lives are the result of all the doors we have walked through, and our continued growth depends on our willingness to keep moving into new spaces. When a door opens, walk through it. Trust that the door has opened for a reason and you have been guided to it. Sometimes we have a tendency to overanalyze or agonize over the decision. But it is quicker to simply go through the door and discover what's there, as that's the only way to know. Even if it doesn't seem right at first, opening this door may lead to another door that will take us where we need to go. There are many doors that open in the course of our lives, leading us into new relationships, jobs, friendships, and creative inspirations. Our lives up to this point are the result of all the doors we have walked through, and our continued growth depends on our willingness to keep moving into new spaces. Every time we walk through an open door, we create a sense memory that encourages us to move into the new fearlessly. When we enter the new space, we almost always feel a thrill and a new feeling of confidence in ourselves and in the universe. We have stepped across the threshold into a new life.
Yeah, that's a great eye-opener. And I'm a big believer in what that's talking about. And I've probably said it on the show, several times, but I am a really big believer in, when you get an opportunity or when there's a chance for a new door to open, it's always, for a reason. Something or, the sum of things got you there to that point. And it's natural to be nervous and it's natural to have doubts and, you don't know, especially when you're trying something new. Of course, you don't have the experience and you think, you might think of a million reasons why things could fail. But you also have to think that, well, I've accomplished so much this far, therefore this door has opened to me. Why not make the most of it and, just jump in and use all of the experiences that you've had so far and try to remember all that you've learned that got you to that point to push you through. And I think that, trying new things and opening new doors should really be exciting because, there's always going to be a risk no matter what you do. There could be risk of failure or whatever, but you won't know unless you actually try. And, the best thing to do in those situations is says, well, you know what? Somebody gave me this opportunity or I made it for myself.
Somebody saw something in you.
Exactly. Yeah. Somebody recognized something in you. So if they're thinking that you have the, ability to do it, so why don't you? So I think, it's a great eye-opener and it's a great reminder to give ourselves.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that the eye-opener really nails is how much you can overanalyze the situation before just making that first step. Mm-hmm. Like it's literally just get in there and see what's happening, and it may very well be a lot less complicated than you've made it out to be in your mind, and it can also be an opportunity for another opportunity that may come along. But you won't know that if you kind of just stand at the door trying to figure out whether or not to turn that knob or to step in. Yeah. It takes a level of courage and boldness, and I think that that's kind of the part that really gets us stuck. Yeah. We think through, and we all have our own critics in our minds that are telling us all the reasons we shouldn't or couldn't, but sometimes it's a matter of having that trust, and that's what I get from the eye-opener the most. It's you're here, and there's a reason you're here, so trust the process and go with it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, a lot of people suffer from what they call imposter syndrome. And I think that, even myself at times, and I think that a lot of the time we don't really realize that, what's gotten you to that point. Like, it's usually like a lot of hard work. And, you think about, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this or whatever, but you're like, okay, no, either you went to school or you have, experience on the job or somebody saw something in you, as we said earlier. And we tend to forget these things when we're nervous and when we're in these new situations. And, we only think about negative things and we only think about doubt, and you don't, and, I was thinking about a conversation I had with a friend, a few weeks ago about a new job opportunity, and she was quite nervous about it. And I had to tell her, and I'm like, you worked hard, you got your degree, you have experience in something, so and so, you've proved yourself so many times. Why are you nervous? This should be a really exciting opportunity and chance. And I think that that's a little talk that we have to give ourselves as well, and sometimes we forget to do it, but. Once we jump in, most of the time, I always think saying, I wish I hadn't is not as bad as saying I wish I had, because then you're always living with this what if possibility. Yeah. So, jump into these new opportunities and make the most of it.
So that's our advice for today. Yep. Just go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the eye-opener for this morning, and we got to get moving into our show. And as we have initiated on Tuesday, we are less than a month now away from the municipal elections in March. And we initiated our Meet the Candidates segment. And today we're going to be traveling up north again to Orange Walk, where we're going to meet both the mayoral candidates for Sugar City.
Yep. So first we're going to be speaking with the People's United Party's candidate, Ladrick Shepard. And right after that conversation, we're going to take a short break and we're going to hear from the UDP's candidate, Orlando Castillo.
All right. And then we're going to close things off by finding out how things are going at the Belize Zoo, or favorite zoo, my favorite zoo.
Absolutely.
And we've had so many great memories there. Unfortunately, with all that's happening with the pandemic, it's been really hard for them to be able to maintain all the animals and keep the finances going for that. So they're having a fundraiser, and we're going to get all the details about it, and you're going to find out why it's so important that you support with what you can.
No, absolutely. And, yep. So that's going to be our show for today. We are going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we are going to be bringing you our Meet the Mayoral Candidates segment, so please stay tuned.
We are only as strong as our families, businesses, institutions, and the communities that surround us. Then by giving businesses the power to grow, entrepreneurs the ability to expand, and by giving our families the right to own something. The Belize Bank gives you the power to build a nation, our nation. Stronger together. The Belize Bank. Our country. Your bank.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
Abigail.
Yes, Gran?
Abigail, I can't breathe well.
Granny, we need to go to the hospital to get you checked out.
No! I'm fine.
Yes, Gran, we need to go now to get you treated. Now, before it's too late.
No.
Grandma, we need to go for all of us.
No.
Stop. If you are having flu-like symptoms, please call us immediately for medical guidance. If you have chronic conditions such as diabetes, and you are experiencing symptoms such as shortness of breath or chest pain, please also seek medical attention immediately. We lost a lot of people this year. We don't want to lose you too. Please seek help if necessary. Call us at 0800-664-2273. Continue to wear your mask at all times. Keep physical distance when in public and stay at home unless absolutely necessary. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
And we're back. And if you're joining us right now, we're just getting our first conversation started. We are doing our Meet the Mayoral Candidates segment that we've got all for you. Of course, as we said this morning, we are talking to the candidates from up north. We're at Sugar City, in fact, Orange Walk Town. So joining us now for our conversation is the People's United Party's candidate, Ladrick Shepard. Good morning.
Good morning, Gavin, and good morning, Marlene. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you so much.
This bright and cool morning. Yeah, right here in Orange Walk.
Oh yeah, we're enjoying the cold weather here too, you know. Thank you for joining us as well. Now, we like to, of course, start with a little bit of an introduction to who you are as a person. So tell us a little bit about where you grew up and just a bit about what you do for work and who you are.
My name is Ladrick Shepard, born and grew in Orange Walk town. Everybody in the community know me as Mad Bull. That's the nickname I got from when I was in San Francisco Primary School. I attended Technical High School, and also I've spent 6 years at BSI, Belize Sugar Industry. I'm currently employed at Center Cable Network for the past 16 years, where I work as a customer service technician, you know, and I've always worked in the community in sports. Getting into politics was a second nature to me, you know, so everyone knows Mad Bull and how hard I've worked in this community. I've always been elected. Since 2012, I've been elected 3 times, getting the most votes. That is, you know, I thank the people from Orange Walk for supporting me. And I think the work that I do shows that they're with me from the beginning, and I think they will stay with me to the end. I'm also the chairman of the Orange Walk Football Association, and I just won my election in 2020. I was re-elected again to serve another 4 more years till 2024.
You know, I want to talk a little bit more about your transition from your day job, let's call it, at Centaur to politics. So, and you said that you work in customer services. So clearly you have experience, you know, talking to a lot of different people, members of the community. So what was it that made you really want to pursue politics?
Well, I think I wanted to give back to the community as an activist due to the sports. I think I have done a lot in the community when it comes to the sporting activity, whether it be organizing, whether it be promoting, you know, things like that. And then as a customer service agent, I had the privilege to be in charge of not only the workers, but to communicate with the people. For instance, like I was in charge of the workers in Ladrick and also in Corozal. My job was to make sure that the workers go to the customers' house. Prior, I call them and tell the customer, you know, hello, my name is Ladrick Shepard. We're going to your house to do that service that you asked for. Customer will reply back, and then I send the technicians over. When the technicians finish up with their job, my job was to ask the customer if they're satisfied with the work that these guys did. And I think we did a heck of a good job doing all these work. And I also must give thanks to the technicians for making my job easy as well, because if they didn't get a job done, then, you know, the customer would have picked on me and say, we didn't work properly. But these are the small things that made us great. But my strength is being humbled and organized, and capable of providing the accountability and the interaction with people as well. And I have the ability to communicate and bring people together at all levels, being it with children, the adolescents, or adults. Some of these kind of skills I have acquired during my interaction with sports. Also, you know, in all levels, I enjoy meeting people and listening to their concerns, providing help where I can.
Yeah.
And then I've been in along with Kevin Bernard, and definitely I have gained the experience. You know, so these are the things that made me want to jump into politics.
Now, Ladrick, you are in a particularly interesting race this time around, because you are taking over the lead of the council as the mayoral candidate, having served under Kevin Bernard, who's now moved on to central government. And I want to just ask about that process. So you've been an experienced councillor, and when the time came to find a replacement, who would be the next mayoral candidate for Orange Walk, what were the decisions or what were the thoughts that you put into that decision, whether you were asked or you decided that was something you wanted?
Marlene, when it comes to that decision, I think the people in the Orange Walk community has been clamoring for my name to be on that mayoral candidateship for quite a while now. but I know that I needed more experience, and I sat down, relaxed. I had good people guiding me the right way, and I must congratulate Mayor Kevin Bernard, and now Honorable Kevin Bernard,
Yes.
who has won his election in the East. That he mentored me and told me, it is not really your time. Your time will come. And I think that I made the right decision to jump at this stage at 2021, where we now have a PUP central government. For the past 9 years, we served under a UDP central government, and we did as much as we can. I know I've seen the hard stage that this council had to go through during their tender, and now I know it is our turn to do more under a People's United Party central government. And also, not only that, Marlene, I think we have a Prime Minister, Honorable John Bisseno, who is also living in Orange Walk. I think with that said, I think more things can be done for Orange Walk.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at the slate that's been put together, of course, there's some controversy there as to who's been included and not included. How are you feeling about the pool of candidates that you have on your slate?
Well, Marlene, I must say that we have a well-rounded team. Notice I said team, not group. This is because we have a good team that will work together, and they were very unique, and with their styles and aspirations. And we're going to like for instance, let me tell you this, that we have Joyce Canton, who is great in her case. She works along with the Cancer Society. Mm-hmm. We have Kadir Escalante, another young candidate that he works along with the land consultant, also with sports. That new game, what they call rugby, he brings that to the table. Derek Pascasio is a teacher, also involved in children with special needs. We have Joanna Rodriguez, a customer service rep, also is the anchor for CTV3 News and very involved in the community. We have Fernando Sanchez. He is a current councillor. He's asking to be re-elected for the second time. He also works at CTV3. Also, he was in charge of the special events, which is Fiestarama, one of our biggest fundraiser in Orange Walk, the Fiestarama. And in that event, that he was the one that makes sure that the children that get their school bag when school time is open. Then we have Alan Yu, a young entrepreneur, active in the Chinese community. So I think the quality that my team bring to the table, I think they're great, young, vibrant, and I think we can get the job done. So we have an excellent plan. When it comes to that, we're going to be launching our manifesto, so you all can see what our plan of action will be.
And, in a similar sort of vein, the former, Mayor Bernard, now Honorable Kevin Bernard, definitely left his mark in Orange Walk Town during his tenure. But now with you at the head, if you do win, there's going to be a new person in charge. So what are some new ideas or plans that you would have for Orange Walk Town that are perhaps innovative or new or a little bit different from what Honorable Kevin Bernard has done so far?
Well, I don't think that we need to change what has been working. They say if it's not broken, why fix it? Mm-hmm. So I think we continue doing the same thing. We have a council that has been working and doing an excellent job. But some of the thing that the people of Orange Walk has been clamoring about is about the drainage system and the infrastructure work. So, like I said, I mentioned to you all that for the past 9 years under a UDP central government, Orange Walk was considered how we use the term the black sheep. We never get nothing. Like if you pass and take one spin by Cayo and take one spin by Belize, most of these other districts have been getting their fair share, and that's the reason why. When I was campaigning, I know I'm one of the campaigners with the PM, and I told him that what I wanted to do, and he said, "Sure, man." And then he even mentioned most of the time on the rostrum that Orange Walk will be getting its fair share. So I think there is many more things that Orange Walk should have gotten but didn't get. So I think under this 3-year term from 2021 to 2024, the improvement is going to be great. We're going to be getting our fair share.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about the details of what that plan, your manifesto that you'll be launching, what are some of the targets that you have for this particular term if you're elected?
Well, campaigning in the streets from now, I'll say for the past month now, because Marlene, I've been in politics from 2012, and every time we start campaigning from September, but you know that due to the pandemic, we had to, and then the election that came, I think the election that shimmed off the town council election, but we managed to still do what we have to do. Very short campaign, but we're getting there. I think together, like I said, together the progress continues. That's a slogan that we're going to imply. We're going to continue getting the job done. But most of the things that the people have been clamoring for is the drainage system. We have been working on that, and I think we need to improve the infrastructure, the streets. We have paved over 125 streets in Orange Walk in good condition. But I think the drainage system in Orange Walk need to improve dramatically, so we need to continue working on that.
Okay. Now, the campaign, I'd imagine, is a lot different, but I see that you have been doing some house-to-house. Now, when you go out to residents, what are some of the issues that they're telling you about? And, acknowledging the fact that being the council, the current council, I'm sure that's a responsibility that they put on you as well.
Yes, I know, and like I said,
those customer service skills come in handy, no?
Well, the thing is that I can talk to people and communicate, so that so if you ask me a question, then I can answer your question. So, but that's true. But the cry in Orange Walk, like I said, I must go back because I've seen many things from since 2012. I reflect back in the years prior to getting to where I am right now. I reflect back, and then most of the people are clamoring for the infrastructure. They want to see more streets get done. They want to live happy. Most of them, and like I said, the drainage system. So I continue reflecting back on the drainage system because it is something that most of the people. There are different sections in Orange Walk. They have the Louisiana area. We have 3 different sections in Orange Walk: the Louisiana area, the Central area, and also we have the Waterbank area, where we have 3 area reps that are going to be working closely with us to get these areas fixed up. But the cry again is the infrastructure. That's the cry over and over, and the drainage system. If we can improve on getting these things fixed, Marlene, I think some of them tell me then, well, you even have to come campaign to me 2024. You just walk and go to the next person, try, things like that. That's what we're hearing from them.
And can you talk a bit about, I'll give a little bit more details about what the campaigning process has been like. Of course, you said, 1, the time is shorter, and 2, we're also in the pandemic. So what has that experience been like with you and your team?
Well, for me, it has been, I wouldn't say easy, but we're doing the house-to-house campaigning, and it has been doing great. Due to the fact that we have the COVID protocols, keeping our distance, constantly sanitizing our hands, always wearing our mask, and also using the media as one of the things that we reach out to people, So, but I will tell you this: Ladrick Mad Bull Shepard is a buying product, meaning that myself and the people know that what I have been capable of, what I've done in the community. And when you have somebody like that, people, you get great response from them. Like some of them are telling me, Bull, you don't even have to complain. I've seen what you have done. I've seen the work that this council have done. And with your team, we'll fully support you. Yeah. So I know that we have a winning team, and we have to campaign. Yeah. So once again, I asked the people that Ladrick Mad Bull Shepard vote for us and my 6 council candidates, and vote for Blue Team and the work. And I will deliver on election day on March 3rd, 2021.
And let's talk about delivering, because putting forward the plans and hoping to get elected, it's important to talk about how you'll execute the things that you want to, that you have as your plans. Infrastructure work, for example, drainage. These are very costly projects to undertake. And as I'm sure you're aware, central government doesn't have the type of resources to be able to help to finance. So you will have to find ways of raising sufficient capital in the municipality to be able to fund your projects. What are your plans there in keeping it as a financially stable council?
Well, Marlene, thanks. Everyone knows that the council collects taxes.
Yes.
Also, we collect transport fees, and we get a small subvention from the government. But I will look into getting the business community to partner with us to do the different projects. And also, Marlene, I want to send out proposals and grants aiding organization and get much international fundings if possible. I think these things are going to help us to move, and most of the people that I worked with are willing enough to help to see Orange Rock improve. There is a lot of great businesses that wants to see Orange Rock improve, but I think they were just waiting on that person to so that they can trust. That's the main thing. The one person they can trust, that they know that their finance will be going to great things and to help the community. And I think these things are going to help.
Yeah. And when you look at the effect of the pandemic on the business sector, when you talk about the collection of fees and taxes, how is that going to impact your inflow?
Well, it's I don't think it's that hard. I think the business community, even although they know that we have taken a vicious blow from this COVID pandemic, I think they still want to see the improvement of this Orange Rock go forward. Also, like I said, we have a PM that lives in Orange Rock, and he also wants to see Orange Rock go forward because he's from here. So I think the PM himself is going to do as much as he can to improve Orange Rock and to get it to standard to where Castillo and Belize. You know, we don't want to compare ourselves to the other different districts, but we want to be different. We want to be unique. We want to be one of the talk of the tongue. I know most of the time when they come to Orange Rock, we just talk about tacos and things. But I can tell you that the Orange Rock people are hardworking people, and I think the business community knows that if they don't help, this tongue is if they don't help. They don't help, but they are going to help because they want to see the tongue improve.
Mm-hmm. And how do you plan to build on the tourism? You're so right. Every time we think Orange Walk, we think tacos. And you know, there's so much more potential for what there is to offer in Orange Walk Town, but we don't usually hear about it other than just kind of passing through and maybe stopping for some food along the way. How do you hope to really build the image of the town itself?
Well, first of all, it starts by letting the people know that Orange Rock is going to be a safe town. That so one of the districts that people love to come is to Orange Rock. So the activities, I as a sports person wants to have many sporting activities in Orange Rock to improve it. And also, you have to remember that we have one of the Maya ruins. The tourists like to come to Orange Rock, but I think we need to improve on that. So we're going to be working closely with the different ethnic groups so we can have different activities right at the Central Park, where people can say, well, we need to come over and see what Orange Rock has to offer. And I think some of the candidates that I have with me are very vibrant, and when it comes to with music, we need to do more in Orange Rock, and I think I'm going to do that.
And have you heard from members of the community about the different areas in which they see Orange Rock going, or perhaps areas that they want investment in?
Yes, there is lots. Like I said, I must bring back 2012 to 2000, where we stand right now, 2000 heading to 2021. The areas in the Louisiana area, the lower Louisiana area, where these people are asking, some of the cries is they need lands and also the drainage system. Mm-hmm. The drainage system is so badly off. We were trying. Kevin Bernard did as much as he can in that lower area. I know when we are campaigning there, if it would be great if you could have seen it with your own eyes. It's something that bothers my mind most of the time. That's the reason why I decided to run as the mayor, to see as much as I can do. And like I said, I mentioned to you, I will always lean on the PM, the Prime Minister, because he's from here, and I know for a fact that he wants to see Orange Rock move to the next level and get improved as much as we can. So the lower level in Louisiana is the area that we need to improve on, and we're going to get those areas fixed up.
Yeah. You know that they typically have a lot of flooding and things like that. Now, when people hear you speaking of the relationship with central government, I know, Orange Walk Town Council has been in that precarious position of being a party representing the opposition. The previous mayor was able to get some of the work going, but what if people say maybe you're banking too much hope on the new administration, the central government, being of the same party?
Well, when it comes to that, I must say that, like I said, born from a range walk, like I said, who wouldn't want to see this tongue improve? And you know, so I must say that, remember I told you earlier that I am one of the campaigners for the PM. I know I walked the entire central part where he is from, and that's one of the biggest area in a range walk, the central area. Yeah. I know, and prior to getting into running for mayor, I sat beside him and I said, Honorable John, do you think we can fix Orange Rock? Do you think we can fix this country, and what will it take to fix this country? And he just looked at me and said, no, I don't know really. I don't have any answers for that right now, but I must tell you this, that I'm going to go over there to work. And I can assure you, Ladrick, that I'm going to assist this council as much as I can. And I can say that I can take his word. He's a man of his word. And by saying that, Orange Rock will get his fair share, and I can assure Marlene, or when everything's said and done, we invite me to come over. And all the talkers, but when I go walk some of the Orange Rock streets and enjoy it and see how wonderful, and say, Mad Bull, having you on that show, you really answered to the call to the people what they were asking for, and you're a man of your word.
And well, as we are quickly running out of time, I am gonna give you a chance to talk directly to your voters and tell them, whatever sort of message that you want to give, and you can tell them why they should vote for you and your council.
We're asking all the Orange Arcanians to come out and support this team, Ladrick team. We have a comprehensive plan to continue to move Orange Walk forward. We are currently working in the infrastructural department, and we also have some impressive plans to invest in the young entrepreneurs and also the facilities and environment of new businesses ideas. We want to move Orange Walk forward to the point where it's not only about the pride and joy of the North, but it will make Orange Walk the pride and joy of the country. As a young, vibrant, and experienced team, we humbly ask for your support, and we continue serving our people with love. And once again, like I said, I must say something in Spanish.
Yes.
Te quiero mucho, mi gente de Orange Walk. That means I love you so much for always counting and believing in me. And that's what I want to ask my people, and continue opening up your doors and homes to me, like I said, and share that warm love. I must say that I never in my life I would be so successful in communicating with the people, but I must pledge that the hard work that I've been doing prior to getting into politics is finally paying off. Sometimes you wonder to yourself, when you do these things, it's called timing and community work. People don't really appreciate what you do. But at the end of the day, I realize that the people of Orange Walk have that wonderful love. Marlene, it's so overwhelming. And they say fame only lasts a little while, but I think my fame has been grooming and going for quite a while now. But I must say that it is the hard work that I've done in this community that are paying off now. And on election day, I'm just asking the people to vote for my team. I think we have the best team. I think we're going to be continuing the work that Kevin Bernard has left behind, and it's going to be great. So thanks, guys, and thanks, the Orange Arcanians, for always showing me that great love.
And if you look forward to the end of the term, let's say you're successful, what do you think is going to be the biggest difference that Orange Walk Kenyans will be able to look at or to share and say, this is the difference that if you're elected, Mayor Ladrick Shepard has been able to do? What would that be for you in your mind?
I will say power to the people. I say the hard work and the improvement to where we were in 2012 to how we stand in 2024. That is going to be my report card. And so come 2024, heading to 2027, when I walk to the people and ask them for that support one more time, as wanted to run as mayor for the second term, I think with the work being done, they're going to open their arms again and say, Matt Bull, go right ahead. We don't have to talk to me. So that's what I want them to remember me as. Like I said, I'm going to work, Marlene. I will let my work speak for itself. I've always been doing that. And don't want to be promising anybody anything that, that we cannot fulfill. Yeah. But then the manifesto is coming out and people are going to be reading our plan of action. And then from there we go. But I can assure you that the confidence that the people have in me, they know that they want to see me success. And I have a lot of friends and family members that want to see Matt Bull reach to the top. Remember, the goal is just a start for politics for me as a mayoral candidate. Yeah. I have bigger dreams down the stretch, but I will leave it as is.
All right. All those sports teams are going to expect that you're going to be delivering with sports, right?
Well, yes, that some of the people are asking me, oh, Bull, when you become mayor, I want to go announce horse race, I want to go to basketball game, like, I used to do Channel 5, I do football games and things, but I'm going to be the same person, Marlene, Galvin, I'm going to be the same person, that loving, smiling person who always wanting to help people, and I think my God-gifted talent is to speak and to announce, and I'm giving back. I always tell some of my family members, like, oh, my title is Shepard. I think one of these days I'm going back to become a pastor, to just preach to people, because that is what I usually do.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning and having this conversation. This is an opportunity for us to be able to introduce the mayoral candidates to our viewers across the country. And so thank you for participating in the conversation.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me as well. It has been wonderful, and hopefully that I be on Marlene's shows one more time. So, Calvin, thanks as well, too, for hosting me as well. Thanks, guys.
All right. Stay safe on that campaign trail.
All right. Thanks.
All right. So there you had it. That was the People's United Party mayoral candidate for Orange Walk Town. And what we're going to do is take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by the United Democratic Party candidate in just a few. So stay tuned.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety, and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
We're back and we're moving into our second part of today's Meet the Mayoral Candidate. We are focusing on Orange Walk Town, Sugar City. We all love it, and we want to find out what these mayoral candidates hope to bring to that municipality to make it even better. And we have with us the United Democratic Party's mayoral candidate, Orlando Castillo. Good morning.
Morning, guys. Morning, Marlene. Morning, Gavin.
All right.
Morning, Orange Walk. Morning, Belize.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and let's just jump right into it, right? So, Orlando, tell us about yourself, who you are, and why you decided to enter the race.
Marlene and Gavin and Orange Walk and Belize. My name is Orlando Castillo. I am currently 30 years of age. I work at a financial institution, but all my life I have been a resident of Orange Walk Town, and I see the neglect from I was a young boy from both parties. I won't take up for any one of them. And I decided that someone young and a new face needs to address these issues and don't look at any colors. So I'm here to address simply the issues of Orange Walk and the abandonment that has been happening for many, many, many years.
And what are these issues that you saw that made it so important for you to enter the electoral race?
I, as a father, I have children, and I would like to see my children grow up in an environment where you can walk on the streets and not fall down. You can pass an empty lot and it's clean. You can pass the streets and the streets are not full of garbage. And a place where the children can grow up and go in an area and play safely. Also, when our district doesn't really have any main focal point for kids to enjoy themselves. You see, like how Belize has that detail park, something like that. It doesn't have anything for recreational purposes for us here in Orange Walk. And I would really like to bring something of that sort to Orange Walk so that the good people of Orange Walk could enjoy a nice space for their family. Because when you go to the Central Park, yes, it's a public place, but around sells liquor, there are bars around. It's out middle in the public, and vehicle constantly passes by. And for me, it's very dangerous, to tell you the truth, because if you have a bar around and if you have several vehicles passing, because it's on the highway, Marlene and Gavin, when you pass through Orange Walk, I guess you can see that. And we would just like to create a location whereby it's not secluded from anyone, but at the same time where the environment is safe and everyone can enjoy a good time with their family and don't have to worry about the vehicles and the drunks and any passerby that can injure their children.
Okay. Now, before we get into a little bit more detail about your plans, I think our viewers are still a bit interested to learn a little bit more about you. So can you talk a little bit about the decision process that you went through that made that, you know, when you decided to go into politics and why you decided, and, you know, what sort of qualities that you have that you bring to the table that will allow you to accomplish whatever plans you do have for Orange Walk Town?
Okay, a little bit about myself. Why I decided to come into politics is that, for one, they say all politicians lie. That is the first thing they always tell you. But I'm trying to break the cycle of that because, like I said, I cannot speak for past governments.
Yeah.
I will not speak on that because the people has already seen what has happened with that. And the qualities that I bring to Orange Walk is one of a good financial background and one of management skill. Growing up, I was a gas attendant, and you know, I decided to go back to study and further my skills, and then I went in the transport department, and I still wasn't feeling accomplished. Then I went back to study again, and I ended up in the financial institution, and I've learned a lot there, and I feel like it has given me the core that I needed to put Orange Walk on the map and give Orange Walk a fighting chance to have a place greater than that of our parents and our grandparents, and one where Orange Walkenians can find jobs and enjoy their lives there, and one where the children can grow up and say that I am proud to call Orange Walk my home.
Yeah. You know, Orlando, it's so interesting. You are young and entering politics, and you use that as a part of your platform that you want to, I think you said earlier, break the cycle. And we know a lot of young people who always look at what's happening in our governance and they complain. And not many people make that next step to try to get into the race to see what they can do. What makes you feel that you can get into town council and be able to be a different politician?
One, Marlene, before I answer that question, I would just like to encourage the young people that they always tell us that we're too young, but you're never too young. Leadership is from within. So you need to step up and take that challenge because it can help you grow in many different ways.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the question, Marlene and Gavin, I'm a young person, yes, but at the end of the day, my passion is to serve people. And I'm a people-based person, people first. And I have made many football teams and volleyball teams, and I've coached in all areas. And I've also run tournaments as well. And it's easy to deal with people as long as you listen to them.
Yeah.
And for many years, we have had mayors and other politicians go up, and when they sit in that chair, they forget that the people are the one that put them there, and they just sit down there and ignore. So what I'm trying to do is give back the people a mayor, give back the people that hope that there is someone still out there that is willing to listen to them and have them at heart. So I'm trying to break that cycle in that the politicians just sit down there after elections. You don't see them until they want their vote. And they neglect the people and tongue at large. And that is what I'm trying to do here, Marlene and Gavin.
All right. And, you know, speaking of what the things that you're trying to do are, talk a little bit about your vision for Orange Walk Town, and if the people do vote for you, what you plan to do and where you see the town going.
from a resident of Orange Walk, right? From the perspective of myself, because I'm a resident as well, not just the mayoral candidate. I see we need parks, we need place where we can recreate. The tongue is expanding quite largely, so we need to have a vision of how we will look at 10 years from now, at 20 years from now. We need a plan whereby we can expand the tongue, but we have a plan to expand the tongue, because if you recently came to Orange Walk or you're passing through, you will notice that there's not even any land left in Orange Walk to give away. So what we were planning to do is, because the tongue can, from what we saw, the tongue can only expand through the side of housing site. So what we wanted to do is adapt housing site to Orange Walk and expand the tongue through that area. So the tongue will be probably a city in the future. Well, not probably, will become a city in the future, and we just want to lay out that blueprint and for Orange Walk to get as big and beautiful as possible.
Yeah. And when you go out on your campaign, we're looking at images of you on the campaign trail here. Tell us about what you are hearing from the residents.
I have not done all of Orange Walk, Marlene and Gavin. I have done housing site, a part of East, a part of Central. I have yet to touch Oshavenke, as Orange Walk is very large. And it's not easy to get around on foot, but you get around on foot and try. And we try not to miss any house. Even if you have a PUP flag, a UDP flag, we just go and greet the people them and tell them, you have the right to know who is running on the slate for every party. So at the end of the day, the residents come to us and they tell us about the drains not being clean, the roads. If you can see in some of those images, it looks like we're in a farm, or the roads are so bad, and we just want to address those things. I know it's a lot, but it's something that if you really take the time out and attack the problem, then one by one, then it can be solved. Yeah. People say that you can't solve all the problems, but if you don't start solving the problem, you can't solve the problems at all.
Yeah. And if you were to talk about your priority, if you're elected mayor next month, what would be the number one thing Mayor Castillo would start to tackle?
The number one thing, Mom, would be the people's needs first. Because at the moment, I understand that the roads and the garbage and the drains are a priority, which will be addressed immediately. But I'm a people-based person, and at the moment there are several persons who don't have a job. Well, not several, a lot, because of the economic crisis that we're facing worldwide. But we need to find a way to deal with people first. And like I said, we're a people-based team, and we just want to help those in need to the best of our abilities, but at the same time dealing with the priorities, which are the streets, the drains, the garbage collections. And not only that, we will revise the tax and the tax acts and the other revenue collecting acts, and see how we can accommodate everyone with a little bit of bringing down the taxes, so we can help them to gain back confidence in themselves. Because if you're making so little and you have to pay so much tax, because the tax are inflated in Orange Walk Town, and we plan to revise those and see how we can accommodate for everyone across the line, be it red, blue, or green. We just want everyone to feel that sense of relief.
That's interesting. And so that actually leads to the next question, which I think is one of the more important ones. How do you plan to finance the work at the council? financial situation is what we know it is, and then you're talking about tax relief. How will you be able to carry out or execute your infrastructure work or drainage programs if you have less money coming in?
That's a very good question, Marlene and Gavin. But to answer that, if you notice, if you notice that the town council is really overstaffed, and most of the tax-paying money is going towards high-paying staffs. And not to say we're going to fire everyone, because I don't believe in vindication and those stuff that the other government is doing. If you qualify for the job, you will keep the job. It's as simple as that. I don't believe in firing people because I believe they voted against me. So if they qualify for the job, they keep their job. But it's not right to have 3 people digging drains and have 5 supervisors behind them. I don't see that. That's not feasible. So I believe that most of the taxpayers' money is going towards employment when it should be going towards the tongue itself. And we will try to outsource reach of other revenues in trying to create some sort of business where the public can contribute. And not only that, we have to do a lot of entrepreneurial programs where we can educate the people in how they can be self-sustainable and good business people. Because I believe that most of our people have the ability to do better, but we I can say the government on itself doesn't give them the platform to better off themselves. So we want to give them that platform so they can get that sense of relief.
Now, earlier you touched lightly on, the issue of political victimization and stuff. In your case in particular, of course, there's the added challenge that you would be facing an election where the other party is incumbent. So, and Orange Walk Town has had a PUP mayor for quite a while. So what do you think would allow you to be successful when it would seem to people outside that maybe the odds are not in your favor?
I would leave that up to the people of Orange Walk Town, because they're the ones who are seeing what is really happening in the town, and I can only speak on my behalf, and I can see the neglect, but from what we're hearing, the people are very unhappy and they feel neglected. And apart from that, I understand that the central government is in power and it is a wave, as they say, but I know the people of Orange Walk are well-educated people, and they will vote for that person who they believe can run the mayoral candidate seat and Orange Walk Town to the best of the ability of the people. And like I said, I am a person who answers to the people and no one else. So there is no politician, no businessman that can come and tell me, well, I want this in my interest and I will forget my people. My people will come first, and that is what I stand by.
Interesting. This sounds to be very much kind of the shaping up of your platform, that you're talking about wanting to be a mayor for the people. Tell me a bit about your team that's supporting you, the councillor candidates that are on your slate. What are some of the strengths that they're bringing to this team, and why you think collectively you guys can be able to deliver for Orange Walk?
We have Mr. Andy. Mr. Andy Yam is an educator for 15 years plus. So his educational skills will be a great asset to us. And he can help us with after school tutorial programs and educating the youth in what's in any part, in any curriculum necessary. We have Shamika Bull, who is a student. She's very outspoken. She's an athlete, and she can lead us when it comes to the part of the sporting world. And well, myself, I'm a part of sports as well. So it is something that I've not forgotten. By the way, if you notice that I didn't mention sports, is because just to cut that short, I didn't mention sports because when it comes to sports will always be in my heart. And the reality is that if the businesses don't get better, we cannot have any sporting programs. But back to the team, Miss Estelita, she has a special child, and she has always been a person who has tended to the specials, and she has been in this committee for the Special Olympics. So she knows how to assist single mothers and the needs of special children. We have Mr. Henry Gomez, who is a salesperson, so he can help us in the sales department. We have Mr. Melvin, who is a tour guide, which is very beneficial for us in Orange Walk, because Mr. Melvin can also work with the BTIA, which is the restaurants and the hotels and the tourism sector. He can help develop that as well. And I have Mr. Rene, who is also a businessman. So my team and I are very versed, and if you notice, we represent all of Orange Walk, not only one sector of any business in Orange Walk, because for the past years we have had a town council which has come from one business or one business owner, that is either Smart or Centaur. And for me, that is not a representation of Orange Walk. So we're trying, like I said, we're trying to break that cycle whereby one person or the mayor answer to their political master. And we're trying to give back people that hope of one day they will have a mayor who will truly answer to the needs of the Orange Walk people.
What's the feedback you get when you go out on your campaign? You're a new face, and you come with a different style of politics, and you go out to the residents. What do they tell you?
I won't lie, Marlene. Most of the time you go, you hear they say about the UDPs or the PUPs, but what we explain to them is that we cannot account for the past administrations, be it red or blue. We're just here to serve them, which, like I said, it's not many, but then you have other people where they come outside, they show you that, well, this drain has been this way and water comes in my house, and this street has been this way for the past 30 years and no one comes, and we have been waiting for you guys to reach so we can tell you about all our problems. And you know, there was this one man where we stopped at this house, and he told us that no one ever stopped at this house. They just passed his house like no one lives there. And I was like, okay, sir, we're trying to reach every house by house, not passing any. And then he felt that sense of relief that someone actually went there and listened to him instead of just preaching. So, like I said, when we go to people, we ask them what are their concerns, and we take it down in a notebook, and we will try to prioritize that list and see how we can tackle each problem one by one. And the residents of Orange Walk are frustrated. You can get that, but at the end of the day, if we are put in there, we will try to see how we can address those issues. And not if, but when we are voted in, we will address those issues as best as possible to ease that frustration.
So when you are out in the campaign trail, some of the thoughts that you're having right now, if the Orange Walk residents elect Orlando Castillo as their next mayor, let's fast forward to the end of your term. What will be the biggest difference you're going to bring to the table that people will be able to see that was the work of Mayor Castillo? What would that be?
Biggest work, let me see. I would want to see when it comes to the expansion of the town and the social areas that we would want to contribute to Orange Walk Town. Because when it comes to the social areas, like I said, the park is for me not really safe because of the bars and the place and the drunks and the vehicles passing by. So we would like to have an area whereby people can have a safe environment. And the expansion of the town, bringing in housing site to us and expanding the town and having a vision of a town and not just going in there and living day by day, but actually having a plan so that people can see where they lie in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, so that they can see, so that they can have a vision of how their town will look and not just a day-by-day experience, but something they can look forward to in the next 20 years so that they can say that, well, when my child is about 18 years of age, I know this will occur in Orange Walk Town.
All right, Orlando, well, we're almost out of time, so we're going to give you an opportunity to speak directly to your voters and send any message or appeal to them, and you can tell them why they should vote for you and your team.
Okay, my people of Orange Walk Town, again, my name is Orlando Castillo, and I'm a person willing to work for the people and will answer to the people and not answer to anyone else. I humbly ask you for your vote and for the vote of all of Orange Walk, for all of the candidates. And I hope you make the right decision and vote in someone who will serve you and not serve anyone else. Thank you, and God bless you all.
All right. Well, thank you as well for joining us this morning and letting us learn a bit more about you, your team, and your platform. Of course, we do encourage you to stay safe on the campaign trail.
Yes, ma'am. We try to stay as safe as possible, walk around with sanitizers, walk around with face masks, try to keep as much social distance as possible. So we're trying to keep as safe as possible.
All right. Thank you very much, Orlando.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
You too. And there you have it. That was the United Democratic Party's mayoral candidate, Orlando Castillo.
With that, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're shifting gears a bit, and we're going to be talking about the Belize Zoo and their upcoming fundraisers, so please stay tuned.
Keeping safe from COVID-19 at your workplace requires 100% teamwork. You can keep earning while keeping yourself and others safe by doing some basic things. Wear a face mask at all times in the workplace unless you are alone in your own private space or office. Wash your hands frequently or utilize alcohol-based hand sanitizers and avoid touching your face. Disinfect surfaces like doorknobs, tables, desks, and handrails regularly. Increase ventilation by opening windows or adjusting air conditioning. Limit visitors and deliveries to the workplace and use appointments where possible. Attend meetings virtually as much as possible, and when not possible, hold meetings in open, well-ventilated spaces or rooms that allow for everyone to be 6 feet apart. Stay at home if you or a family member at home are feeling sick, or if you have been in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19. Keeping the workplace safe also requires that employees act responsibly when away from work. Practice social distancing and good hand-washing hygiene. Avoid large gatherings and avoid unnecessary exposure to others. Protecting others means protecting yourself. Together, we can defeat COVID.
In partnership with the British High Commission.
Love is a connection that should last forever. This February, NextGen is sharing the love with amazing promo deals for everyone. Reconnect or install with NextGen for free. Sign up for our affordable cable and high-speed internet plans and get 1 month free on your acquired service. But that's not all. New and reconnecting customers can now receive 1 month free MyTV subscription when you sign up with us anytime in February. Some restrictions apply. For more information on our promotions and services, contact us at 0800-222-5388 or via our social media platforms. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet. If we are only as strong as our families, businesses, institutions, and the communities that surround us, then by giving businesses the power to grow, entrepreneurs the ability to expand, and by giving our families the right to own something, the Belize Bank gives you the power to build a nation, our nation. We are stronger together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Reduce your risk of viral illness like the flu or the coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water or with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing or sneezing with a tissue. Throw away, then wash hands immediately. Avoid close contact with anyone who has the cold or flu-like symptoms. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or nearest health center and share your travel history. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
And if you're joining us right now, we're getting our third conversation for this morning started. And we're shifting gears from politics, and now we're talking about animals. We're talking about the Belize Zoo and their upcoming fundraiser. And joining us for this discussion this morning, we've got Celso Put, who is the operations manager from the zoo. Good morning, Celso.
Hi, good morning, Marlene and Gavin. Good morning.
All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, let's start off our conversation by talking a little bit about how things are at the zoo right now. Of course, this is one of our, most beloved, let's call it national treasures. So yeah, how are things at the zoo?
It is a national natural treasure.
Yep.
The things are very slow at the zoo right now for us. Finance-wise, the economy slowdown has really hurt the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center. We're not getting the visitation that we used to get or we're used to for operations, and so the management and staff had to become innovative in how we can try and raise the needed resources, financial resources, to help with operating, basically caring for the animals.
I know we did a story. I remember looking at the cost of what it takes to manage just the food schedule for these animals, and it is a lot of money that you need to find. How are you sustaining yourself at the moment?
Well, at the moment we are open to the public on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and on Monday to Thursdays we're open by appointment only. So we're getting a little bit of funds trickling in through the gate entrance. We've relied mostly on donation from the public, both locally here in Belize and internationally from our friends abroad. Different sectors of the society has really stepped in to help us at the Belize Zoo with caring and providing for the animals in our care. We have a specific set of tour guides in Belize City who have been helping us out almost since the start of the pandemic on a weekly basis. And so that's how we've been surviving. So on donation, on goodwill from the people of Belize and also the supporters from abroad.
And of course, now you're branching out into more projects and fundraising initiatives. And let's talk about the upcoming one.
So we have two. We want to capitalize on Valentine's, and those people who really want to give with meaning, giving to conservation cause at the zoo is something you can do. The first event we're having is just a general raffle for Valentine's, and we're raffling free entrance with lunch on the tapir deck in the zoo. So we have this elevated platform that overlooks the tapir enclosure. And that's where we usually host our VIP donors. And so we're offering that to the public for $5 a chance. We're having the raffle on next week, Friday.
Okay.
Tickets are available at the zoo. They can be purchased on our opening hours, which is from 9 to 4 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we also have three ticket outlets. We have LG Pharmacy in Camalote. We have the Pets Place Veterinary Clinic in San Ignacio. And also the Cookers Restaurant and Wine Bar in Belmopan. So we have those 3 ticket outlets for where people can get tickets rather than coming out to the zoo.
So tell us about that view from the tapir deck. If it was exclusive to the VIP, it means you get a great view of the animals.
Yes, actually, we've hosted a wedding up there before. We had a couple who really got married, tied a knot on that deck, and they wanted tapirs to be their witnesses. So it's something cool. It's a nice experience, and so we're offering that to the Belizean public.
$5 a raffle, and then you win that exclusive meal on the tapir deck at the Belize Zoo. Now, your other one I think is really interesting. So it is a overnight stay. Tell us all about it. It's a Valentine special.
Right. So think a lot of Belizeans don't know that the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center also have accommodations where you can spend the night and experience the zoo at night. And we host a lot of school groups. And so what we're doing is we're offering Belizeans the opportunity to come and spend the night at the Tropical Education Center and then experience the Belize Zoo at night. Apart from that, we're offering a guided tour by the zookeepers during the day. So on Sunday, you wake up and you'll get a morning tour of the zoo. And you also have access to the trails on the Tropical Education Center. And we also have a pool over there. But I don't know how the pool will fare off in this cold weather right now.
But you got a bottle of wine to warm you up, right? Didn't I read that?
And we also have, yes, we have a bottle of wine in your room for you, and then we have dinner and breakfast included in the dining room there at the Tropical Education Center.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's a fully loaded package.
Yeah. Now, what's the difference between spending the night at the zoo versus what we would see during the day? I'm sure the animals are, people are always different after dark,
Well, that's the cool thing about the Belize Zoo at night experience.
Yeah.
Most of the animals in the zoo are nocturnal. And so you will see them doing their natural behavior. And so the jaguars, the night waka, the margay, those are the more nocturnal critters, the tapir as well. So you go to the zoo during the day, you will see them. Sometimes you might find them just resting. If you go in the night, you'll find them a lot more active.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine the sounds at night
yeah.
as well. Now we're looking at images of, I guess, preparing food for the animals. Out of curiosity, Celso, who is the most expensive eater?
Well, the meat eaters, the jaguars, they are the one that really cost. And we have quite a few jaguars at the zoo because we have a program where we work with the government and we identify these problem jaguars that we call, or those jaguars that are causing human-wildlife conflict. And when we deem these cats are problem animals, we remove them so that we don't have to kill them. And so we have quite a few of those cats in the zoo. Those are not visible to the public. They eat a lot. And it's not just food, it's veterinary care, it's the management, that animal management, husbandry that goes into the care for these animals that really cost as well.
And apart from the big meat eaters, or maybe even including them, just for our viewers, you can give an idea of what the task is like, the maintenance task is for all of the animals. Maybe you can give an idea of how many different types of animals that we're talking about when you're talking about feeding and veterinary care for at the zoo.
So we have about 45 different species of native animals. So only the animals you find in Belize, you'll find in the Belize Zoo. And that is about close to 200 individual animals.
Okay.
For example, the tapir eat probably about 50 pounds of food for the day.
What? But all fruit and vegetables?
Fruits and vegetables and browse. And what happened is the tapir have a habit that they like to poop in their water. That means that you need somebody there on a regular basis to clean out those water.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of poop to clean out, and it's a lot of work to do as well.
I don't want to imagine how much comes out if 50 pounds goes in. And people are having breakfast, so let's move on. But my point is, that it sounds like you have your own daycare going, basically. It's a lot of care that goes in from even the food prep, because maybe people don't realize you need a team to prepare the food for the animals.
Yes, we have an animal management department of 11 staff members, and they are the team responsible for the care of the animals. So it's a lot. We have the mammals department, we have the birds department. There's just a group for the cats, for the jaguars. There's also We have the monkeys, so they fall under the mammals. It's a team effort. It's a team effort. It's not just going into the zoo and feeding the animals. It's going into the zoo and taking care of your animals. So every day the zookeepers, they go in, they have to observe their animals to make sure that they're not exhibiting any kind of ill behavior, so that there's no sickness, they're healthy, they're eating well, there's no loss of appetite, they're not exhibiting any pain. So it's not just feeding the animals, it goes beyond that.
And I would imagine there's, upkeeping the grounds is also a pretty big task, given how much space you have, how much pathways, and just maintaining just the environment that the animals live in as well.
That's right, Gavin. We have more than 1 mile of pathway paved in the zoo. And sadly, that's one of the part that has been hit the hardest, because we had to prioritize where we're going to invest the resources, the little resources we have. And so our maintenance department is down to like 3 persons. It used to be 7. And so we had to reduce staff. Like I said, we had to prioritize where we want the resources. So the upkeep is a big challenge for us. And volunteering is always welcome. People can go in and sign up to volunteer and help us in maintaining the pathways, maintaining the exhibits, and also maintaining the barriers, because the barriers are very important to keep people away from the animals. Because as much as you have signs, people always try to get like the AG say, get funny and try get cute and try to touch the animal or pet the animal. And so we need the barriers in place, and it's costly to maintain them.
So hearing all that you're saying, it's almost a year since we've been facing issues with the pandemic. I know you've had other fundraisers as well, and you've also had some community support. If people definitely should consider the overnight stay and purchase raffles, but what are some of the other ways that people can help?
Well, again, the donation, with the pandemic, we do our best to try and keep people away from the animals. So even with our own staff, a lot of people want to volunteer, but they want to go and cuddle, they want to go and pet the animals, and that's not what we're about at the zoo. We do our best right now to keep the general public from direct contact with the animals. So if people want to help, we appreciate in-kind donation. We have people who continuously donate. Some people donate a sheep, a pig. Some people donate vegetables. We have some real kind people who just passing the zoo, and because they're passing the zoo, they would drop off a box of vegetables. And those are the things that really have been helping us during this pandemic. And of course, I know it's hard to come by cash, but there's some things that we can't get from volunteers, and cash will definitely help.
So I'm thinking now that your jaguars, who eat lots of meat, your tapirs that eat 50 pounds of food a day, what are some of the other ones? Tell us the stories of these unique animals that you have there and their unique needs as well.
Well, we have, let me tell you some of the food items that these animals consume, because we have some generalists in the zoo, so I don't want to be specific, but we in the fruits area, papaya, watermelon, we do pumpkins.
I can't volunteer to do that on the screen. That's so cute. What is that? An anteater? Or is it baby tapir?
That's the baby anteater. We had a naming competition recently, and Archie.
Who's Archie?
Yeah. Archie looks cute till I see those nails. Ouch.
He's growing.
Yeah.
He's growing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Something else to mention, that during the pandemic, we also had a couple animals that we had to rescue, we had to take in. So one of them is Archie. The other one is the baby ocelot, Fifi. And it costs, for example, we've never had an anteater at the zoo in more than a decade. And So we need to find a place for this anteater, Archie. We also need to find a place for Fifi, the ocelot that was rescued during the floods in November. And we don't have the resources right now, so we're doing our best to find it alternatively. To build, for example, the ocelot, we need the resources to build an exhibit for it, to introduce it to the two older ocelots that are at the zoo so that they can become one family.
And I'm also thinking, just in terms of maintaining and upkeep for animals, you also have animals in big groups, and I'm thinking about like what does it take to feed a whole flock of pecaries?
Yeah, the pecaries, the howler monkeys, the spider monkeys, they all live in group, and it's a lot. The parrots, we have a lot of seeds for the parrots. So it's a wide variety of foods that we can accept from volunteers.
Well, I can't imagine the struggles that you guys have faced over the past year trying to ensure that these animals are fed and maintained and kept healthy. Clearly, you've been able to do it, and we do hope that people hear this conversation today and consider ways that they can support as well. So let's go through the raffle. So that's $5 a ticket, and the drawing is next Friday, so people have just about a week to be able to purchase those tickets. Tell us more.
And they can, we're drawing it before Valentine's so they can take their loved one out to the zoo for a very special romantic lunch on the tapir deck. Tickets are available at the zoo entrance Friday to Sunday from 4 to 9 when we're open. And purchasing a ticket does not mean a free entrance to the zoo, because we get some people show up and they want to buy a ticket and say, oh, we had a free entrance to the zoo. No. What you're doing is you're really supporting the conservation work we're doing at the zoo. Tickets are available at LG Pharmacy in Camalote, at Pet's Place Veterinary Clinic in San Ignacio, and Corker's Restaurant and Wine Bar in Belmopan. The second event is Jungle Romantic Getaway at the Tropical Education Center. The price for that is $320 Belize per couple. It includes your dinner, your breakfast, the Belize Zoo at night experience, a guided tour of the Belize Zoo the following day, and access to our trails on the Tropical Education Center and the pool on the Tropical Education Center compound.
Nice. Is there limited space available?
Yes, we have limited space for the Romantic Jungle Escape, and so we're asking people if they're interested to get in contact with us as soon as possible.
Those don't sound like zoo animals in the background, though.
No, they're not, sorry.
those are urban animals. We know those well. Yeah. All right. And just one more question. So you said that when you look at the animals and their behavior, they're used to a continuous flow of people every single day. Have you seen any changes since they're seeing less people?
We don't want to make a conclusion on that yet, but yes, the animals in the zoo are used to people, especially the jaguars, the tapirs, the monkeys. We get, in normal times, pre-COVID, we were getting about 78,000 visitors annually, which half of that were Belizeans. And one thing I can tell you that the Belizeans that go to the zoo really appreciate their wildlife. And so there's a lot of interaction between the animals and the visitors. And the animals do miss seeing the public. It's especially the social group, they're used to people, they've become what we call habituated, basically.
Yes.
Used to us. And that is the reason why some of these animals that we rescue cannot be released back into the wild, especially the problem cats, because they become habituated to people and then they no longer fear people. So if they go back into the wild, they might look up to people for food and other resources. And so it's safe that we keep them and use them as educational ambassador at the Belize Zoo.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's another reason why people need to go to the zoo, because the animals miss us.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, it's all the conservation work we do at the zoo. The zoo is more than just the zoo. We have social programs with the communities we work with. I mean, we have the staff that we have to provide for. And then, of course, the animals. So it's more than just the zoo. It goes beyond what you see when you visit the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and the education center itself and the research that you guys do.
Right.
All right, Celso. So thank you so much for telling us all about the fundraising efforts that you have, so people know how they can support. The raffle will be drawn next Friday, so people need to get those tickets. And the romantic getaway is for the Valentine weekend coming up next weekend. And it definitely is a unique opportunity to see the animals after dark.
It is. And then thanks, Marlene and Gavin, for having us.
All right. Thank you, too.
And that is all the time we have for this segment. So we're going to take another short break. And when we come back, we are going to have our wrap-up. So please stay tuned.
Why, Tony?
Boy, kid, what you going on, man?
We actually can see we can need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just ran out of the last batch, must have been like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have that thing? What is going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
We're back.
Yep. And we are just wrapping up our show after a bunch of really interesting conversations this morning. Of course, we kicked it off with our Meet the Mayoral Candidates segment, and we spoke to the two candidates from Orange Walk Town this morning. So we want to say thank you to both Ladrick Shepard, the PUP's candidate, and Orlando Castillo, the UDP's candidate, for speaking to us this morning, telling us a little bit about themselves and their vision for Orange Walk Town.
That's right, and of course our Meet the Mayoral Candidates segment continues next week, and we'll bring the mayoral candidates from your municipality so that you can learn more about who they are and why they're hoping to be the leader of your town or city. We also want to thank Celso Poot for joining us this morning, learning so much more about the animals at the zoo. I know he was very clear in saying, you know, the work that they do there, it goes beyond just caring for animals. You're looking at the staff, the education center, the research that happens there, and they do need our support. So they have two fundraising efforts going. One is a romantic getaway where you stay overnight at their facility. You have pool access, wine, you have a night tour with the animals, and lots of other fun things included there as well. So you can get that information from the zoo, and while you're there, get yourself a raffle ticket.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to show some support for the Belize Zoo and helping them to maintain our unique zoo and all of our great animals. So, you know, thanks once again to Celso.
And we're actually going to showcase a story in just a bit with the effort that it takes to be able to feed the animals. I think that was pretty insightful this morning when you think of how much they have to spend or how much food they have to be able to provide for these animals every single day.
I know, right?
How much meat does a jaguar eat?
I don't know. I'm going to Google that as soon as we get off.
Okay, multiply that by the number of cats. Yep. And every single day. And then 50 pounds of food per tapir
right?
A day.
Yeah, I can't even imagine like what that must be to prepare for that. But that was great. But before we do show that story, we do have a birthday shout out to give. So from all of us here at Open Your Eyes on Channel 5, we want to wish a very happy birthday to Nicole Roland. So Nicole, we hope you have a great day today. Happy, happy, happy birthday, and we wish you many more.
But it's time for us to go. So remember, if you want to contact us, send us an email, a question, a comment, just reach out to us at oye@channel5belize.com. You can drop me a line at marlene_oye at channel5belize.com. Find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes Z.
And on Instagram at OIE Belize.
And remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your heart open.
We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day.
On a visit to the Belize Zoo, you'd see about 200 animals. But to keep these animals healthy, happy, and safe, the zookeepers must take proper care of them. A big part of that care is their nutrition. To find out more, we went behind the scenes at the Belize Zoo's commissary, where the meals and treats are prepared. And as we found out, some animals, like humans, don't like their veggies, while others have their favorite snacks, and some prefer sweet fruits. But for all of them, feeding time is their favorite time, and some of their favorite humans are these zookeepers who feed them.
They're getting a little bit more sugar than I usually give them. It's kind of like a cheat day for them. So today they're getting some watermelon, papaya, cantaloupe, cucumbers, boiled eggs.
Shania Longsworth is the bird keeper. Longsworth is preparing the meals. These colorful, rich, and balanced plates help each bird to live a long and healthy life. The birds are fed a combination of fruits, veggies, nuts, and seeds so that they can get the nutrients and minerals that they need. Some birds are fed once a day and others are fed twice.
What we try to do is to mix up the presentation of the food. Some days we'll chop the food up really small. Some days we'll give them whole food. It's to kind of keep them, it's kind of like a guessing game so that the birds are never bored. They're always kind of working towards a meal. Some days they have to work harder than others. Today is an easy day for them. We've chopped all their fruits and veggies for them, and they get dessert today too.
What's for dessert?
For the seed-eating birds, mix of seed. It's kind of like a mix of sunflower seeds, some pellets, some cereal. I like to call it dessert.
Is it a lot of work to cut up all these fruits and veggies for them?
It takes time. It's definitely a labor of love, but we got to do it. That's a part of making sure that they're happy and healthy.
And this man who looks like a butcher hacking away at all this meat, he has a job that most of us wouldn't envy. Jose Valdez is a jaguar keeper. These big cats are big eaters. Each one eats 3 to 5 pounds of meat every day. Valdez is tasked with feeding and training them.
I have some cats who are picky within meats. Some of them prefer eating liver more than the chicken, and of course all of them love beef, but some of them who do prefer eating pork than beef. But on their meal they have to be balanced out, so we tend to give them a little bit of everything as we can.
Are these big cats big eaters?
Generally yes, as in the wild they would eat until they cannot eat anymore, and then they would not hunt for a couple of days. But in the zoo we tend to regulate their food because we feed them every day, and in that sense we can also work closely with them for training. So we don't give them big meals so they don't get chubby, and also as they get older it is easier for them to get sick, so you have to make sure they have a balanced meal.
Is this a scary job for you?
At first it was a little bit intimidating, but afterwards you got really up close to them. They trust you and you respect their territory, and in turn they respect you back, and you'll become great friends.
Friends.
As people who have come to the zoo in the past and have had the opportunity to do experiences with Junior in the past, or Lindo, which we are the new Jaguar ambassador now, they can see that they're not as scary as people think.
Mammal keeper Carlos Ical is chopping up buckets of food. Every day he prepares 6 buckets for the tapirs. They're big eaters. They eat twice a day. Their diet is made up of primarily green leafy veggies, some fruits, and they especially love root vegetables.
3 of them, you can't go in there without food. You have to be ready with food, so they won't attack you.
Right.
So that's how they behave.
What's their diet like?
So most of the things what they eat is this. We have the ground food, which we have sweet potato, we have carrots, we have cucumber. But actually we still go in a while looking for browses, like other browses which they like. So maybe twice a week we bring to them. So they love to eat that also. So those are their diets. But mostly here at the Belize Zoo we use veggies like sometimes we give them greens, maybe lettuce or cabbage. So they still love that.
Any fruits for them?
Yeah, we mostly use watermelon, cantaloupe, or other stuff like where you find in the market, so we use all of those, yeah.
At this workstation, zookeeper Herson Garcia is preparing the food for the howler and spider monkeys and the kinkajous. They eat a variety of fruits and veggies with a big meal and a treat for the day.
Monkeys, they like sweet stuff, so papaya is one of their treats, one of their favorites. And it depends on what we have. For example, we can also give them peanuts and some dog chow, because that's high on protein. So what's available? Usually we have this available.
Any of your animals are picky? Any one of them would you consider a picky eater?
Yes, I guess in all sections we have one of those. We have a couple howlers who will, you can see right away as soon as you put their food, they will go for the papaya first. Mango season was just passed, so or they will grab the mango because it's not there the whole year. Others will go for a green, maybe a piece of celery. So different animal, different favorites.
What do you love about feeding these animals, the primates?
Very interesting. When I first started working with the primates, they have to trust you. Otherwise, they don't come out or they don't go inside. They have to get to know you. So it's very, very smart animals.
It's a lot of work and dedication to feed these animals, and because of COVID-19, the zoo has been closed to visitors. They're now depending on donations and your kindness to keep these animals fed and taken care of. Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.